Hi there, hope you have a fantastic day today. This lesson I'm going to teach you using unit circle to work out the cos sine tan of an angle. So if you can, please download or print out the PDF file on the description below so you can work with me. So let's go straight into it. So we have a circle. So a unit circle is a circle with a radius of 1. So let's say we have a point here. Let's say P of a point. So we have X and Y. And the radius from here to here is a radius is 1. Unit circle is a circle with the radius of 1. Okay. And the length from here to here is X. And this is Y. With a unit circle, the angle is always measured from the positive x-axis and it go anti-clockwise. Okay, so from here to here is the angle theta. So it measure from the positive x-axis, go anti-clockwise. Okay, remember that for me. So if it go clockwise, it will be negative instead of positive. Now to find the x value, so we know that this is adjacent and this is hypotenuse. So it's k. So we write cos of theta is equal to adjacent, which is x, over hypotenuse, which is 1. So therefore, x is equal to cos of theta, because x over 1 is x. So therefore, x is cos of theta. Now, for y value, so we have opposite of this angle here, so opposite, and of course, 1 is the hypotenuse. So we have O and H, so it's so. So we have sine of theta is equal to opposite, which is y, over hypotenuse, which is 1. So y over 1 is y. So therefore, y is equal to sine of theta. So now we have x is cos of theta and y is equal to sine of theta. So please remember this. Now to find tan of theta. So tan of theta, tan is opposite over adjacent. So opposite is y, adjacent is x. So opposite over adjacent. So y over x. But we know that y is sine theta. So that will give me sine of theta over x. X is cos of theta. So we know that therefore tan of theta is equal to sine of theta over cos of theta. So please keep this in mind for me, okay? So we have sine over cos is equal to tan. So let's look a little bit further on the circle. So in general, we know that x squared plus y squared is equal to r squared. But in this case, the radius is 1. So r squared is 1 squared. So 1 squared is 1. So we know that in here, so we know x squared plus y squared is equal to 1. But then we know that x is cos of theta. So we just replace x with cos theta. So cos square theta plus y squared, but y is sine theta. So therefore, sine square theta is equal to 1. So this is another trig identity that is quite important. So please keep this in mind for me. We're going to use this for the next few videos. So let's go through a few examples, okay? So first one, so we need to work out cos sine tan of the following angles. Part A, so cos of 15 degrees. So cos of 15 degrees, remember? So x equal cos of theta. So therefore, cos of 15 means that we need to look at the x-axis at angle of 15 degrees. So 15 degrees, let me just use the ruler to help me out. So let's work this out. So 90 degrees there. So 15 degrees. So we look at this here. Okay, at 15 degrees with angle. Let me make it a bit bigger. There you go. So we have this here. So we can see from 0.6. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gaps. So it go up by 0.04 each gaps, okay? So at the moment we have 1, 2, 3, 4 and a little bit. So roughly about 4.2. So to do this, I just quickly use the calculator. So we have 4.2. Remember, 4.2 times 0.04. That is roughly about 1.68. And then we add 0.8, okay? Because 0.8 plus 0.168 plus 0.8. So therefore, is roughly 0.97. Let me just make it smaller. So cos of 15 is equal to 0.97. Correct to 2 decimal place. So next one, sine of 15 degrees. Remember, sine is y is equal to sine of theta. So therefore, sine of 15 is we need to look for the y value, which is the horizontal line, across the 15 degrees. So I'm just use ruler, just make it easier for me. That's all. So at 15 degrees, roughly here. See? So it's roughly is about 1.5 gaps, right? So this is 0.2 is the major axis. So this is 1.5. So we have 1.5 of 0.04 at 0.2. So we go 0.04 times 1.5 plus 0.2. So it's 0.26. So which is equal to 0.26. Now tan of 15 degrees. So we know that tan of theta is equal to sine theta over cos theta. So tan of theta equal sine of theta over cos of theta. So therefore, tan of 15 is equal to sine of 15 degrees over cos of 15 degrees. So that will give me 0.26 over 0.97. So let me just put that in the calculator. So 0.26 divided by 0.97. So that is 0.27 equal to 0.27. Of course, I can just put in calculator and check see if I get it correct. So let's try it out. So tan of 15 degrees. So there you go. So 0.27, correct to 2 decimal place. Now cos of 195. So cos of 195, which means we look for the x value at 195 degrees. So 195 says here 195. So let me just make it a bit larger. So this is roughly, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4 gaps and a little bit. Okay, 4 and a little bit. So roughly 4.2 gaps. So just write, so just work this out. So 4.2 times 0.04. So that give me 0.68. And we add 0.8 on top. So plus 0.8. So that will give me negative 0.97. So that is equal to negative 0.97. So sine of 300 is we just look for the y value. So 300 degrees for y value. So we just go 300. So that is here. So it's roughly 1.75 of the gaps, okay? So this is negative 0.8. So we just work out 1.75 first. So 1.75 times 0.04. So therefore negative 0.87. So that is equal to negative 0.87. Please pause the video and try this one yourself. Hi, I'm back. How did you go? So let me go through them together with you, okay? To see whether you got it right or not. So first one, cos of 120 degrees. So 120 degrees. And then we have to look for the x value because cos x is equal to cos of theta. Keep that in mind, okay? So 120. So it's in this quadrant here. And the x value should be negative. So cos of 120 will be here. So let me make it a little bit bigger so you can see. And roughly it's halfway. Correct? So which is negative. So we have 1 gap, 2 gap, and 2.5. Okay, so which is 2.5 times 0.04. Because 1 gap is 0.04. So let me just work this out. So 0.04 times 2.5. So 2.5 and then we add 0.4. So there you go. So instead of 0.5 it's negative 0.5. Okay. So the answer is negative 0.5. So which is equal to negative 0.5. Of course, you can check the answer by put the cos of 120 in your calculator, okay? So now sine of 60 degree. So sine means we check for the vertical line. That is the y value because y is equal to sine of theta. So 60 degree is here. I put it up here and I enlarge it to make it easier for me. So 60 degrees is here. So it's roughly 0.7, right? Roughly. So that means we have 1.7 of a gaps. So I just put in calculator. So which is 1.7 times 0.04 because 1 gap is 0.04. And don't forget we add 0.8 as well. So add 0.8. So 0.87. 0.87. Now, sine of 315. Again, we check for the y value because sine of 315. So at the angle of 315. So we just go down here, 315 here. Now, this one here is roughly 0.7 of a gap, okay? So which is we have 1 gap to 2.7 gaps up below 0.6, right? So which is you calculate, work this out. So 2.7. So 2.7 times 0.04. And don't forget we add 0.6 on top because it's below negative 0.6. So that means negative 0.71. So that is equal to negative 0.71. And cos of 315. So cos is the x value because x is equal to cos theta. So 315. And I make it a bit larger. Doesn't matter if you're a little bit off, okay? Remember, we cannot measure exact as always, okay? So that means roughly 2.7 gaps on the right hand side of the 0.6. So what we do, we go 2.7 times 0.04 because each gap is 0.04 and then we add 0.6 on top. So again, 0.71. So which is equal to 0.71. Now we need to find tan of 315. Now remember, tan theta is equal to sine theta over cos theta. So therefore, okay, sine theta, which is sine of 135 degree over cos of 135 degrees. But then sine of 135 is negative 0.71. And cos of 135 degrees is 0.71. So therefore, this will give me negative 1. So we can always check it out using calculator. So we go sine of 135 divided by cos of 135. It should give me negative 1. Or if not, if your number are slightly different, doesn't really matter, okay? But should be very close to negative 0.1, all right? So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.